Oh man, what a day, huh? Have you guys heard the news? Apparently, the USA is going to take over Greenland. I believe that's the next domino that the USA wants to fall is taking over taking over Greenland. Now, you know, am I for this? Am I against this? I don't think it's really up to us. It's probably up to Greenland. Probably up to Greenland and the people of Greenland, if they want to become a part of the USA, the great United States of America. I don't have any food today, guys. Normally on this, I have something. I almost ordered KFC. I was really close to doing it. But there was like a further away fee. Uber Eats wanted a further away fee. And I was not about to get nickeled and dimed out of $50 worth of KFC. They do have the new cheese curds at KFC. It sounds interesting. I do want to try it, and maybe in the next week or so, we will give those a shot. But as of right now, I was running quite late. I do apologize. I need one of those things that. What's up, Christy? How you doing today? Happy Wednesday. I need one of those like pre-roll videos that I hit the go live thing, and then it has like a video that plays and allows a couple people to join in before we get started here. What's up, Lady Zodiac fam? How you doing today? Nice to see you. What's up, Hunter? How are you today? What do we think about this? There's a few different news things I want to cover today. Did you guys see the new food pyramid? There's a new food pyramid that our government came out with, and it looks much better. It just looks so much better than the old food pyramid, where they tried to tell us that the most important thing to eat was bread. That was the old food pyramid. Was, hey, the biggest part of the triangle or pyramid at the bottom, it was all just bread and pasta. It's like, dude, why'd you even come up with this in the first place? The new food pyramid has the biggest things that you should be eating is like, lean meats, vegetables, fruits. Makes sense, whole foods, real foods. What is up? Christy said, just tried a new restaurant up here. It's like Chipotle, but more authentic and family owned. Definitely recommend. What is it called, Christy? What's up, Stefan? How are you today? Good morning. Good morning. Afternoon. It is afternoon. I'm running quite late today. Again, I do apologize. I need to get, like I said, one of those videos where people can kind of can see that I'm live. They join in, and that pre-live video kind of plays for 5 to 10 minutes. Christy said it's about time, honestly, for the food pyramid. Yeah, new food pyramid. Very exciting. Lady Zodiac fam said, yes, very unaffordable, but good. Protein is so costly, not to mention fresh produce. Yeah, 100%. It is, protein is expensive, for sure. Christy said at Guadalupe's, it was $12, and they loaded my bowl. That sounds really good. $12? $12. How much is it for a bowl at Chipotle nowadays? Is the feed is okay for you guys? It's because it says unstable for me right now. Michael Harton said, hey, I got an email from Twitch, so that helps that you were live. That's good. Okay, that's good. Feed is okay. Okay, cool. Maybe it's just on the back end here on the dashboard. It says I'm offline, and it says that it's an unstable bit rate. Bit rate. That's a word. Stefan said, be interesting to see a JFK Jr. food pyramid. Yeah, like I said, it just came out today. They just held like a press conference not too long ago about it. I'm very thirsty today. No food. I ended up eating that entire Hungry Howie's pizza. I crushed it. That deep dish Detroit style I had here on Monday. Today's Wednesday, January 7th, by the way. Um, Lady Zodiac fam said we have bearded dragon, so we have to have fresh produce. Um, oh, there was an auto mod thing here from Hunter. I'll read your chat, Hunter. Hunter said, I had a donut from Cops and Donuts here in Gaylord, Michigan. Probably the best donut I've ever had. Cops and Donuts. That's a good name. That's a good name for a donut place. I went to a donut place in, where was it? It was in Pennsylvania, and it was called Donuts and Ammo. And I kid you not, you walk in, and it's literally tables set up, rows and rows of ammo. And then like off to the left, they have these donuts. And turns out they were good. They were really good for the area, you know. Stefan said, did you see that horrific happening in Minnesota? What happened? Maybe I missed something. What happened in Minnesota? Mr. Anderson, how you doing today? Thanks for being here. Said, have you reviewed any restaurants in Minnesota? No. No, I have not. That's somewhere where I need to get to, you know? Maybe we'll wait until some things cool down. Hunter said, oh, that was that one I already read. Stefan said, ICE murdered a legal observer. Shooting her. Oh my gosh, 3 times in the face. That is horrible. That is horrible. I hope justice is served there. You know, I was doing a lot of digging about sovereignty because last time here on Monday we talked about everything that's going on in Venezuela. And, some people were like, it violates like sovereignty. And like I said, I was doing a lot of digging about sovereignty and like, when is it no longer applicable? Because there's most certainly situations, I think we would all agree, like Adolf, Hitler, no sovereignty. We could go in, grab them, pluck them out. No one would have any issues with that. So at what point, and this is a question for the chat here, at what point does sovereignty become, well, you don't really get it anymore, Because what was happening in Venezuela was, Maduro was a result of thousands of innocent civilians being killed internationally as well, here in America, because of the drugs that were coming in. At what point do we say, hey, there are innocent civilians being killed in Venezuela because of Maduro? Where, like, human rights wise, this is really the question that it boils down to is, do you prioritize humans and human rights, or do you prioritize international law? That's really the question. Oh, thank you, Christy. Shout out to Christy in the chat. Wow. 5 tier 1 subs. Shout out to Christy, guys. That is awesome. Hunter said it was an Oreo filled with Oreo topping donut. That sounds great. Warm and purely homemade. I don't think anything can beat a fresh homemade donut. I really don't. Michael Hartson said, as long as you're not hurting yourself or others, then do as you please. Yeah. That it's really it's a sticky situation going on because at the end of the day, like, I'm for the people of Venezuela. I want the people of Venezuela to not be starving in the streets due to their government. And if we go in there, and if we do good for the people of Venezuela, it's a great situation all around, right? We win, the people of Venezuela win. Hunter said, here's what I don't understand. Obama killed many without an okay from Congress. Trump brought a man back here alive, and suddenly everyone is ticked. Lady Zodiac Femme said, those that have Amazon Prime, don't forget you get 1 free monthly subscription to channels. That's awesome. I didn't know that. Thank you for letting us know, Lady Zodiac Fam. Stefan said, Maduro was a vile character, but USA is wrong to interfere. So here's like my main question, and I like having these open discussions because if there's thousands of people dying because of Maduro, that means that you put international law above the civilians of Venezuela. So at what point is it okay to interfere? I guess is really my main question. Trump has gone on to threaten Cuba, Mexico, Panama, and Greenland, said Stefan. Yeah, and that's something I want to talk about here today is really Greenland. And also all the other things going on, like you mentioned, Cuba, Mexico, Panama. I really hope that this is not like the start of World War III. I hope, Trump's talks about Greenland, if it's not done in the correct way, I could easily see it turning into like a World War III type thing going on. But at the same token, if the people of Greenland vote for it and they want it, and our government and the other governments in the world, they come up with a deal in place, and it ends up being a win-win-win situation all around, just like the thing with Venezuela. That could end up really being a win-win-win situation all around. If you prioritize humans. Because what ends up happening with sovereignty is it's a license to kill slowly. Sovereignty protects dictators like Maduro and allows them to kill their own citizens slowly. Whereas if they were killing them quickly, then we would say, oh, no more sovereignty. We're going to go in and take care of this. But it's almost like this international law circumvents the ability to protect humans, when in reality is international law, isn't it supposed to protect humans? Isn't it supposed to protect human rights? At what point, and that's the main question, is at what point is it okay? When is it right and when is it wrong to interfere? Stefan, that's the main question I have. And I don't know if anyone has like an accurate answer for that, but I guess it's just my position that if there's Venezuelans being killed and they're innocent civilians, are you going to withhold international law that is supposed to protect civilians? Because if you do uphold international law in that situation, then you're protecting a murderer. Straight up. So, like I said, at what point? Stefan said 85% of Greenlanders have said they want nothing to do with USA. That looks like a no to me. Yeah, I haven't done much research into, the percentage of Greenlanders. Have they done a vote on it where like everyone has voted, or where is that coming from? Because Stefan said, Lady Zodiac Fam said, I'm not sure. which action by Obama Hunter is talking about. Over 50 people were killed in the bombing of Venezuela, so there were casualties. Yeah, I mean, the men protecting a murderer were killed in Venezuela. The men that were protecting a murderer were killed in Venezuela. Those were the casualties. And if it's for the better good of the civilians, of the people of Venezuela, you could argue both sides of that for sure. Stefan said more than 80 killed in the operation, including an 80-year-old granny sitting at home. An 80-year-old granny sitting at home. What was she doing? Jeez, that's was she? How was that? How was that even possible? She was just like on the computer at home. She was ordering some Uber Eats or something. Stefan said, so is Team America World Police a thing? Well, I mean, I guess it just depends on... I don't believe in endless wars. As far as like boots on the ground type deal, I don't think that's necessary. And that's not really what happened in Venezuela. It was more of a quick, efficient... it wasn't like an 8-year-long war to deal with Venezuela and the problem in Venezuela. Stefan said they destroyed the house she was in. Oh, they destroyed the house that she was in. Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. An 80-year-old granny sitting at home. I mean, it sounds horrible to say, but is that, how many thousands of people have to starve to death before we say, all right, things aren't going good here. And if America can become stronger, if America can become stronger and the people of Venezuela are happier and Venezuela becomes more powerful all at the same time, where's the negative in that? And then devil's advocate would be, well, the U.S. at the same time, and this is kind of my concern with the whole thing is, are we moving, now we're all of a sudden we're talking about taking Greenland over. It's like, well, let's one thing at a time here. One thing at a time. Let's make sure things in Venezuela are going smoothly. Lady of Zodiac Fam said, I get what they are saying. We have so many problems here in the U.S. soil. Why should we get involved with every other country's issue? Yeah, that's 100% a fair analysis. And I do agree with that, to a certain extent. Because, at the end of the day, if, let's say, China's controlling Venezuela, is that potentially a threat to U.S. citizens? Is that potentially a threat to U.S. citizens? I think it's a good question to ask. Lady Zodiac Fam said, we have thousands that are going hungry here too. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I don't think it's as bad as what's going on in Venezuela. Moats and Planks said, Stefan. London Tackett, how you doing today, ma'am? Said, what's up, Nick? What's your favorite place you ate at in Lexington, Kentucky? Bo's Cafe, I think it's called. Great breakfast spot. I saw Luke Foods actually recently went there and did a review. Yeah, great food. Great food at Bo's. Beaus, I believe, is the name of the restaurant. Wait, was that in Lexington? I'm pretty sure that was in Lexington, yeah. I went to the donut place too. What was it called? Spalding's Donuts? I believe that was Lexington. I could be mistaken, but I'm 99% sure it was Lexington. Hunter said Obama ordered strikes in Pakistan, Yemen, and Africa, and many more in his presidency. Killed roughly 2,500 people. Excuse me. And yes, I know with that one, I do believe Obama did not go through Congress to do that. And that's an argument that I see online is like, oh, well, what if, Obama, what aboutism, right? Like, what about Obama doing this? No one was up in arms then. Lady Zodiac fam said, if you ever get back to the Little Rock area, Goku Ramen in Mao Mill is amazing. Ooh, I like ramen. I like a good ramen. There's a place here called Beery Taco. Beery Taco. It's a pink building, I believe, in Concord, North Carolina, and they do a phenomenal birria ramen. It's delightful. London Tackett said, "Yeah, I only live a couple of hours away, so I'm definitely gonna go try that gravy and ham biscuits. Oh, awesome, awesome, man." Lady Zodiac fam said I wasn't sure which one you were talking about. Yeah, there was definitely, Obama definitely did things too. That's the thing is like Trump does things, Obama does things, Clinton does things, Bush does things. At the end of the day, I saw an article or a video, and it was on Facebook. I think it was like Philadelphia, ABC or CBS or something, and the headline was literally Republicans think this, but Democrats think that. And it's like, dude, you don't have to be so obvious in your attempt to brainwash people into having certain sides. I can sit here and I can say, you know what, if everything in Venezuela goes well, right, for the Venezuelan people, that's a positive. America becomes stronger, that's a positive. Venezuela becomes more powerful and profitable. Those are all positive things, right? So I could sit here and say that's great. Like that would be a great outcome for everyone involved. But at the same time, if Trump wakes up tomorrow and he goes, Greenland is ours, we're taking Greenland. It's like, you can't do that. You can't just say that Greenland is yours. So it's not like for me personally, I'm not, somebody had mentioned like, oh, I'm so glad that you're you're a hardcore Trump guy. And I wouldn't consider myself a hardcore Trump guy at all. Like I said, I'm more like humans first. So if the humans of Venezuela are no longer starving in the streets, their country being ruined, that's a positive in my books. Christy said, is that the birria place you did on Local Eats? Yes, Birri Taco was the place I did on Local Eats. That was a while ago, maybe a year and a half ago, something like that. Lady Zodiac fam said, all politicians do bad things. They all have blood on their hands. Yes, 100%. Stefan said, not without triggering Article 5. Lady Zodiac fam said, you can't pee on something and say it's mine. That's fair, 100%. I agree. And like I said, I agree with the whole, you can't just point to Greenland and say it's yours. That's where sovereignty is like, okay, like hold on a second here. You can't just do that. But when people are when people are being killed, just like with Hitler, at some point you got to say, you don't really have that anymore. You're being a bad person to people. If you're a bad person to innocent civilians, it kind of goes out the window. And that's what power is all about. Like that's what, I talked about this on Monday, but it'd be great if everyone just laid their guns down and said, hey, we're not gonna ever do anything. No foreign wars ever, no intervention ever. We're gonna let every country do whatever they want. If they're slaughtering their civilians, that's totally fine because I'm not concerned with it because I'm only concerned with what's going on U.S. soil. That's not a very humanitarian outlook on things. If you're able to save human life and also make your country more powerful at the same time, that's a win-win situation. That's a type of situation where I would say, yeah, that's probably a good thing that would happen if we're saving innocent human life. Christy said, I saw that comment on Facebook. I remember that place because I followed them on Instagram. Yeah, the owner was real cool at Beery Taco. Real nice guy. Lady Zodiac fam said, I just hope he sticks to his word and doesn't put that money towards that Trump arch he wants to build. Yeah, and I joked about that last time. Like, you know, the country of Venezuela is going to run on Trump coin, you know, and you can better yourself in their society by going to Trump University, and then you'll be able to afford the the Trumpy bear. So, that's really my take on the whole Greenland thing, because somebody commented on that on the YouTube. You know, they thought that they were trying to corner me maybe by saying like, oh, you know, he's going to be consistent in this thought process, and it's like, no, like I don't agree with being like, oh yeah, that's mine now. Seems kind of insane, kind of ridiculous. And I don't think that, you know, that would tip off a world war. That would be World War III if Trump just said, oh, Greenland's ours now. 100% that would lead to World War III. I don't know if anyone saw it. This was another thing too. We recently, I think in the past like few hours, we captured Venezuelan ships that were carrying oil going to, I believe it was oil going to Russia. We intercepted the ship and we took control of it. Venezuela was going to be like wholesaling this oil to Russia. This is what we're told. This is just what we're told. And we intercepted that, and I believe it's going back to Venezuela now to be sold at a more profitable price and not to our enemies. And this goes against the people who say that Trump is a Russian spy, you know, or he's working with the Russians. If we were, in fact, working with the Russians, we just would have let that Venezuelan ship continue to go to Russia with all the oil, you know, and then they sell it at a wholesale, very cheap price. And the Venezuelan people get cucked at the end of the day. So Stefan said, yes, it would. France, Sweden, Norway, Germany, Denmark, Holland all said that they would trigger Article 5 if Trump attacked Greenland. Yeah, so this is why I don't think it's going to happen. Like, I don't think Trump is just going to say Greenland's ours. Stefan, let me ask you this. If there was a Democratic vote on Greenland becoming a part of the USA and it was going to benefit the people in Greenland and also make America more powerful and make Greenland more powerful, would you be against that? You know, would you be against that? Is the question to ask, I think, because that's the only way I see this going down. The only way I see this going down is if all parties involved, it's a mutual agreement, everybody wins in this situation, Greenland becomes a part of USA. That's the only way I see this going down. Lady Zodiac fam said companies like ExxonMobil say that Venezuela owes them billions of dollars for confiscating their assets 2 decades ago. Sounds like they're being selfish. Venezuela owes them billions of dollars. I'll have to look into that one. Thank you, Lady Zodiac fam. Stefan said the electorate should have the right to self-determination of government. So you would be against the people voting for it? You would be against the people of Greenland voting for it? Lady Zodiac fam said, I agree with you. If an entire country doesn't want to be under another's rule, then it should be taken into consideration. The question I have is, if the majority of the country votes, if the majority of Greenland votes and they want to become a part of the U.S., and the U.S. becomes stronger, Greenland becomes stronger, would you be against that? Would you be angry that that happened? That's really the biggest question here, right? Stefan said only if the people of Greenland voted for it. Yeah, so that's my whole point here, is if the people of Greenland voted for it without coercion. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, is it's being positioned as this horrible thing right now, when in reality, if it's a really great thing that the people vote on and it makes everyone stronger, who would be against it? You know? So yeah, I mean, those are really the biggest things happening in news today. Is the Greenland thing is huge. Obviously, what's going on in Venezuela. I would like to see more news on what's happening in Venezuela. You know, I've heard the Cubans are starting to rise up. I'm not sure if there's. I'm not sure if that's confirmed. It's just something that I've heard, but. Like I said, I don't want this to lead to a World War III. Stefan said, I would suggest looking into the situation in Minnesota. Yeah, definitely. That's something I need to take a look at. You said ICE was in Minnesota, and ICE shot somebody that was merely just hanging out, just kind of. They were an innocent person, just. Excuse me, I'm trying to find your original message here. A legal observer. Shot her in the face. So was she just standing there and observing? Like just that's all she was doing, and then a guy took out and just took her out? There's a video, said Stefan, you can see it. She was in a car. Was she? I mean, listen. I'm trying my best here to play both sides of this. She was in her car, just observing what was going on. I'm gonna have to check this video out because that's very concerning. You know, and all the videos out there are pretty gross. You know, of ICE just like breaking into random places, and you know, I don't think Stefan said they told her to get out of there. She was in the process of comply, and a guy jumped in front of her. She was in the process of complying, like she was driving away, like attempting to drive away, and somebody jumped on her car. That sounds nuts. Who are these people for ICE? Are they just like random people? Because I've gotten like ads. I've seen like ads. It's like, sign up for ICE today. It's like, are you in credit card debt? Sign up for ICE. It's like, whoa. Anyone can just kind of, I guess anyone could just kind of do that. I wonder what the vetting process is to be an ICE agent. Stefan said, yep. That is sad, for sure. Like I said, I'm going to have to look into that one a little bit more, for sure. Lady Zodiac fam, in the chat today, I appreciate everyone being here. Yeah. Stefan said you need to have a swastika. I don't know if that's one of the things to be part of ICE, but I wouldn't be surprised if there were people involved in ICE who do have that. Hegseth, he has a swastika. Is that real? Is that a real thing? I need to get a keyboard so I can just like look things up. Should I try to use Alexa? Hey Alexa, does Pete Hegseth have a swastika tattoo?
Pete Hegseth does not have a swastika tattoo. He has several Christian-themed tattoos, including a Jerusalem cross and the phrase Deus Vult, which have raised some controversy.
All right, so I guess it's not a swastika. Unless Alexa...
It's not a swastika. The Jerusalem cross is a Christian symbol consisting of a large cross with 4 smaller crosses in each quadrant.
So it's a Jerusalem cross. All right. So it's not.
Yes, it's a Jerusalem cross. It's a Christian symbol with a large central cross and 4 smaller crosses in each quadrant.
Alexa, stop, please. Michael Hartson said maybe do an uncover segment on what happens when you sign up for or join ICE. Yeah, I'll go undercover. That would be nuts. Hunter said, I like what ICE is doing, but I blame the ones trying to stop them is what is making it so chaotic. Yes, yeah, I think it's probably both. I think it's a little bit of both, probably. It's most likely, people that are trying to stop ICE that are bad people, and there's probably bad people that are ICE agents. That's most likely what's going on. Christy said, so I did some reading from different sources. Crazy how different outlets report it differently. Yo, Nick, what's up, Dave? Shout out to Dave in the chat. And yeah, Christy, exactly. That's why this whole news thing, it's very... Christy said one source says one of the violent rioters weaponized her vehicle, attempting to run over our law enforcement officers in an attempt to kill them. An act of domestic terrorism, the statement reads. An ICE officer, fearing for his life, the lives of fellow law enforcement, and the safety of the public, fired defensive shots. He used his training and saved his own life and that of his fellow officers. Christie also said, another story says Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey said federal officials' narrative that the ICE agent who killed a woman did so in self-defense is BS. This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying, getting killed, Frey said. Frey also told ICE to get the F out of Minneapolis. Stefan said, yeah, when the population gang together and rise up to prevent aggressive illegal assaults, it tends to create a mess. Yeah, I mean, that's... and I've been thinking about the immigration thing because obviously there's a problem with how it's done. Like the millions and millions of completely random undocumented people coming into our country is not going to result in a good outcome. Stefan said the video evidence, the witness all contradict the lies of the official statement. Yeah, I'll have to check out that video. Is the video long? Is it a long video, or is it like a 10-second long clip? I hope it's not a clip. Lady Zodiac fam said, my nephews were pulled into their principal by ICE agents questioning whether they and their family were legal to be here. There are bad ICE agents out there that do things like this. Yes, exactly. Stefan said, no, the clip is only 30 seconds or so. Okay, so that's where it becomes difficult to understand what's really going on, because we don't know what preceded that 30 seconds. What happened, before that 30 seconds? Was she waving around a gun? Was she aggressively driving her vehicle? What was she doing, if she was doing anything at all? We don't know what happened. It seems like maybe somebody has a Ring doorbell camera and we can get a longer video. Stefan said she was driving a car very slowly. Yes, in that clip. In that small little 30-second clip, maybe she was driving the car slowly for 10 minutes before that. But I think, unfortunately, without an entire we need full context. We can't jump to these conclusions, and justice should be served. If there was wrongdoing, we should have a longer video. Are these ICE agents wearing body cam? Or do they not have to wear body cam? That's a great question. I don't know if anyone can check that out. But if any of them were wearing body cam, I mean, there should be substantial evidence to back the ICE agent's claims. The murderer has apparently been arrested. Yeah, I'm sure that they're going to look into it, as they should. Like, this sounds like something that needs to be looked into. Undeniably. Christie said news articles say they're going to be checking cameras and getting eyewitness reports to come to a better conclusion. That's exactly what needs to happen. That's exactly how this should go. Who released the 30-second long clip of this happening? Was it from inside the vehicle? Was it her own phone, or was it a camera from somebody else? Yeah, I just mean like the position of the camera. Stefan said I saw it on Blue Sky. Stefan said someone else. Christy said Google says they're supposed to wear body cams. All right, so I mean, if they are wearing body cams, we should get the full context of this story coming out soon, and it'll be interesting to see, did somebody make a 30-second long clip of this to enrage people, right? Or was this 30-second long clip the only piece of video that person got? We're going to find out. Justice will be served. If she was just an innocent person, just scooting along in her vehicle and somebody murdered her, then the murderer should 100% be held accountable. Stefan said, like in the Epstein files, yeah, the Epstein files. You guys saw Dan Bongino is like a podcaster now again. He was originally like a podcaster, and his whole podcast was basically the Epstein files. Guys, we're gonna uncover the Epstein files. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna bring light to the Epstein files. And then he gets in office. Being a podcaster. That's wild, dude. And then once he gets into office, doesn't release the Epstein files, helps cover up the Epstein files, and then quits and then becomes a podcaster again. What the hell is really going on here? Lady Zodiac fam said, I don't think those body cameras should be able to be muted or shut off while they are on duty. That goes for all police. Yeah, I agree. The body cameras should be holding police accountable. I think that's fair. Stefan said Kash Patel should get back to podcasting where he can go back to demanding the release of the Epstein files. Exactly. I think so too. Shout out to the official rug, dude. The official rug. Shout out to you, man. Subscriber at tier 1. Thank you. I'm going to ask you guys in the chat, do you want me to shut down the stream right now? Because I really got to take a leak. Do you want me to shut down the stream now, or do you want me to take a leak real quick and then just give me like 30 seconds? What do you think? Dan Bongino, ex-military, come back. Okay. All right. Give me 30 seconds, guys. All right. We are back. This is the American Power Hour. Lady Zodiac fam said, Kash Patel creeps me out. He doesn't blink. Yeah, Kash Patel also creeps me out. Kash Patel, I don't trust that guy as far as I could throw him. And I could probably throw him pretty far, if I'm being honest. Christy said, Michael's blue-collar name is Rug, LOL. Is that Michael then? Or is that just a coinky-dink, if you will? That's him. Okay. All right. That makes sense. The official rug. Stefan said, yeah, he's definitely a weirdo. Looks like a rabbit caught in car's headlights. Yes. Yeah, Kash Patel rubs me the wrong way a little bit. And it's mainly the way he speaks. He doesn't speak with pure confidence. Like when he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, And Joe Rogan was like, "Are you going to release the Epstein files?" And he was like, "If they existed, don't you think I would?" What did he say? He said, "If they existed and they were in our possession, don't you think I would release them?" It's like, dude, what are you talking about? Because like 8 months later, they released millions of Epstein files. So clearly, you had them, and clearly, you were lying. Plausible deniability. Yes, Michael, yeah, technically he wasn't lying. Technically. But at the same time, like, because he offered, if the files existed, don't you think that I would, don't you think? It's like, no, I'm asking you, do you have them? Yes or no? The whole political game, dude. Ridiculous. Lady Zodiac fam said, slows down that speech so he can keep his brain up with the lies. 100%. 100%. Yeah, the administration has done some good things. They've done some bad things for sure. I mean, Dan Bongino, going back to podcasting says a lot, I think. It's kind of like, how great is the administration really if the people in the administration would rather do podcasting? What's really going on over there? Some people were talking. I was trying my best to listen to one of these streamers talk about politics. It was Sneeko. Oh my lord, dude! I was like losing IQ points trying to listen to some of the stuff he was saying. Whew. I don't know if anyone tries to watch stuff like that, but it's one of the reasons why I'm doing this, honestly. Because I'm like, man, if someone like that, can gain a huge audience. Lady Zodiac fam said, I'm a mom, and that's one telltale sign a kid is lying. With the high-pitched, I did not, yes, exactly. Yeah. The high-pitched, I didn't, really do anything. Michael Hartson said, I don't know if you touched on Elon leaving all that behind with Doge, but that says something to me. Yes, exactly, Michael Hartson, for sure. That maybe they don't want change or something. Yeah, I mean, it seemed like Doge originally they uncovered a lot of fraud happening in the government. Lady Zodiac fam said, "Where is all that money exactly? What happened with all that?" Because that was really like, that was a big thing. It was like, oh, Elon's going to come into the government and he's going to run it like a business and make it more profitable and expose all the fraud and hold people accountable. Who was held accountable? Was there a single person held accountable because of what they uncovered in Doge? It's a genuine question. I don't know. I haven't really seen anything come from that. All that really came from that was like, yeah, the government's fraudulent. And they're like, oh, there's millions of dollars, being funneled and embezzled. And it's like, yeah, we know. Like, we know that. Stefan said, who has ultimately benefited from Doge's activity? Clue. Who has ultimately benefited from Doge's activity? SpaceX, says Stefan. That's an interesting take for sure. I think Elon definitely benefited, in the short term at least. We'll see what happens in the long run. I think Elon also left because he was only what's the word I'm looking for? Contracted for a certain number of months, I believe. They were like, listen, we're going to let you uncover fraud, but not that much fraud. You got 6 months or something. How long did they contract him for? Like 3 months or something? And then he ends up with like a black eye in like standing next to Donald Trump. And Trump's like, Elon's a great guy. And Elon's like sitting there with a black eye, and then goes home and tweets that Trump is in the Epstein files. Stefan said he left because he was killing his business. But at the same time, did he leave when the contract was up? Because that might also be a reason. Lady Zodiac Fam said, we own a Tesla and got a bunch of shit from people about supporting a Nazi. Oh, yeah, because he did the "my heart goes out to you" thing. Michael Hartson said, I want the story on the eye. I think we all do. I think we all want the story on what the hell happened to Elon's eye. And why did they make him go in front of a camera? And not only that, they offered him makeup to cover up the black eye. Yeah, careful replicating that hand motion. Yeah, right. They offered him makeup to cover up the black eye, and Elon said, no, I don't need makeup to cover up the black eye. Lady Zodiac Fam said, we got our car before the whole Doge Trump thing. Stefan said, yeah, I saw a load of Tesla bumper stickers along the lines of, we bought this before. Oh, yeah, I've seen those bumper stickers as well. Christy said, careful, yeah, you'll be a trending clip on Twitter. Yeah, that would be not good. Not good. The clips. I made a clip the other day of the Shake Shack, Big Mac, the Big Shack, it's called. I made a clip of that. If you guys didn't know, we have the American Power Hour, TikTok, American Power Hour YouTube. We have the Facebook page as well. And I did just start a Twitter, or an X, if you will. The black eye. Yeah, the black eye with Elon, dude. What was going on with that? And then he instantly goes on X and tells the world that Trump was in the Epstein files, which at the end of the day, like, I think everyone knew that. I don't think anyone was like, oh, Trump's definitely not in the Epstein files. I think the two sides of the coin are Trump was doing bad things with Jeffrey Epstein, and then the other side was Trump was just hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein and playing GameCube on the weekends and hosting, teenage beauty pageants. For funsies, just for shits and giggles. Lady Zodiac Fam said he got the black eye from Amber Heard's makeup tutorial. Amber Heard, whatever happened with her? Whatever happened with that case? What was the jurisdiction? Is that the right word to use? Man, I've been doing so much studying of like politics and news stories. It's weird because, like, I used to hate studying. I've done more studying in the past week than I have in the entire, like, grades 1 through 12, if I'm being honest. I've learned more in the past, like, week and a half. Stefan said, sitting, playing snakes and ladders, no doubt. For sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's another thing with the whole Trump thing. Like, I want the leader of our country to do great things. And I am in support of the leader of our country. But when the leader of our country does bad things, you gotta call it out. You can't make up excuses for somebody doing bad things. That's kind of where I lie on that. Is it lie? I don't want to make it sound like I'm lying, though. Michael Hart just said, I agree with that. Lady Zodiac Fam said, money can't hide everything. Ooh, I had a good question for you guys here today. Who took over for Jeffrey Epstein? It's a harrowing question. Harrowing. I think that's the right word. I could be incredibly wrong, but who took over for Jeffrey Epstein? Who's the new Jeffrey Epstein? Who got that job? You know? Because it didn't just go away. It's like, oh, we got Jeffrey Epstein. Now there's no more child trafficking. It's like, not buying it. Who took over for him? Who's the new guy? Or girl. I don't want to be sexist. Right? Ghislaine was involved. So I don't think this is just a guy thing. Stefan said, can just hear I'm so innocent. I'm the most innocent former best friend of the world's most notorious pedophile there's ever been. There's no one more innocent and pure than me. That's funny. That's hilarious, dude. Oh man. The greatest. I'm the greatest innocent the world's ever seen. So yeah, who took over? Who took over for Jeffrey? That's the real question. And where did it move to? If it's no longer on Epstein Island, where's the party at now? Where are they doing these parties? These influential, because they got Diddy. You know, maybe Diddy was a part of a small part, a very small role. I think the trafficking thing runs much deeper than Jeffrey Epstein. I think Jeffrey Epstein was a useful idiot, if I'm being honest. I did a whole video a week or two ago on Jeffrey Epstein, and we talked about his Mossad ties and working with multiple governments. So if he's working with multiple governments and you're running a child trafficking organization and blackmailing organization, honeypots, it's not Jeffrey Epstein controlling that stuff. Jeffrey Epstein was the puppet, you know, and it's like, who's controlling it? Because they're just going to put a new puppet in there. Stefan said, looking like it's going to be Mike Johnson, but not his son. Mike Johnson. That guy in Congress or something? I've heard that name before. He was the guy trying to cover up he voted no to releasing the Epstein files. Is that right? Do I have that one right? Lady Zodiac Fam said Stefan Dekoff purchased the island in 2023. Who's Stefan Dekoff? Stefan said, not Stefan Dekoff. That might be Stefan Dekoff. Stefan said he lives with his BFF, Christian mega minister, and there are various single congressmen who drop by on a regular basis. Is that real? Is that a real thing? Speaker. Okay. That's what I thought. Mike Johnson. Yeah. Not a good look to vote to keep the Epstein files concealed. It's not a good look. Steph said, yep, I'll send you a link. Sounds good. Send it through. I'm doing all this just so I can try to learn. Like I said, I've done more studying here in the past week and a half on, Greenland and like strategic position and like China's involvement in Venezuela. I used to hate studying, dude. I never studied in school unless it was something I was interested in. And that's the only reason why I can do studying with this stuff is because I'm interested in it. I'm wondering what's going on. It's so polarizing. It's so incredibly polarizing where people are a lot, I don't want to say the majority, but a lot of people are completely on one side or the other. And I'm kind of like, I'm not completely on one side or the other. I have biases. Everyone has biases, I think. That's fair to say. Lady Zodiac Fam said, Black Diamond Capital Management, they own Verizon. Ooh, Verizon. Black Diamond Capital Management. Who is a part of Black Diamond Capital Management? That would be the next thing I would look up. Who are the owners or major players in Black Diamond Capital Management? I wonder if like Alexa would tell. Hey Alexa, who are the major players and or owners of Diamond Capital Management?
Diamond Capital Management is owned by the National Bank of Indianapolis. Edward Brown is the president, and Jane Corres is the manager of investment client support.
Do they have any ties with governments?
Diamond Capital Management is registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission and is a member of the National Futures Association, but no direct government ties are mentioned in available information.
You mentioned the National Futures Organization. Who owns that? Who's big players in that?
The National Futures Association is a nonprofit, independent regulatory organization. It's not owned by any individual or company, but is governed by a board of directors and funded by membership dues.
Who are the major players on their board of directors?
I don't have specific information about the current National Futures Association board members. The NFA board consists of member directors and public directors, but individual names aren't publicly available in my current information.
Alexa, are you helping to cover this all up? Are you a part of the conspiracy?
I wish I was important enough to be part of a conspiracy, but I'm just a digital assistant who can only access publicly available information. The reality is that some organizational details just aren't readily accessible online, not because of any cover-up, but because many regulatory bodies don't publish complete board member lists in easily searchable formats.
Why don't they publish that information?
That's a great question. Regulatory bodies like the NFA often balance transparency with privacy concerns. They typically publish essential information for public oversight while protecting individual privacy. It's not about secrecy, but rather following standard practices for professional organizations.
Not buying it. I've had enough out of you, Alexa.
Fair enough. I'm very serious, except when I'm not. Thanks for the chat, Nick.
How'd it know my name? Did my Alexa just sigh at me? It's like having a personal assistant, yes. I was getting sass, yeah, I was getting sass from my my AI. That was crazy. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, someone's taken over. Someone's taken over the reins from Jeff. You know, he's just the old guy, no longer here. He was the ex-president. Christy said, "Thanks for the chat, Nick. I will be adding your name to the list." Exactly. That's a little concerning. Steph said, "Can I post a YouTube link here?" I think so. I don't know what you mentioned something about whispers. I don't know what that means, dude. Oh, okay, there you go. I think we got it here. This was the YouTube link for whispers are direct messages on Twitch. Why do they have to It's okay. It's okay. What is this? Let me click on this.
You know, thank God for Governor Gavin Newsom.
All right, this is a 10-minute long video. I don't know if I could just watch this right now. Hegseth. Do people not like Hegseth? Let me ask this. What are the worst things that Hegseth has done? And what is the what's the claim here? Is that he's gay? Is that the claim? I'll check it later. Yeah, definitely, Stefan. Thanks for the bananas, Grim Jong-un. Shout out to you, man. Talks about Mega Mike. Oh, MAGA Mike and his friends. Ooh. Ooh. Gavin Newsom just outed him is the title of the video. Gavin Newsom. I used to live in Gavin Newsom's state. It was horrible. I lived there for like 5 years. And I had to leave because of the politics during COVID. It was horrible. They didn't let us go outside, dude. They didn't let us go outside. It was like orders from Gavin Newsom. It was like thinking about going to your friend's house. Think again. Think again. COVID. Put on a mask. Stay in your house. Hanging out with friends? What are you, nuts? What are you, insane? In the meanwhile, like, Gavin Newsom's hanging out with all of his friends at, like, a dinner party. It's like, buddy, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Stefan said, California has always been health conscious. I like that about California. But you can't have your cake and eat it too, Gavin. Christy said, no trailer park girls going around the outside. Yeah, no, round the outside. Nobody was allowed to go outside. It was tyranny. It was the definition of a society I couldn't live in. I couldn't be a part of it. It's the reason why so many people left. I mean, so many people left. How many millions? I'm pretty sure millions of people left California because of him. Because of that guy. That guy was. I mean, shout out to the people he's hiring to do his memes, because like they're pretty good. Gavin Newsom has some pretty good memes. I will say that. Who's saying that? Was it it was Eminem. I believe it was Eminem who did that one. Man, I can't believe the stream went down midstream. That was crazy. Oh, it was done first by Jay Jealous. Jay Jealous Band. Jay Jealous. When was that? When did that happen? The more you know. Oh, Goulet. Jay Goulet. I don't think I'm saying that right. Two trailer park girls go around me outside. Is that that was the original song, huh? Was it rap? Jay Jealous. Got it. Thank you, guys. Jay Jealous Band. We learned something new today. Learned something new. What was I looking at? I was looking at the AI robots on CBS. I believe it was 60 Minutes did a whole thing on the AI robots in the Hyundai factory in Georgia, I believe it was. And these robots, man, it seemed like there wasn't anything they couldn't do. These robots, like they assembled like the robots on the ground, and all the parts were on the ground, and it just looked like a pile of parts, and then it just stood up. It looked like a pile of scrap metal, and it just stands up, and it's looking at you with its eyes, and it starts putting like pieces of cars, on like the conveyor belt. And it's like, man, how much longer do we have? There's always an argument of like, AI content. You can always kind of tell. It's AI. Is that what we said 5 years ago? Is that what we said 10 years ago? 10 years ago, were we saying, you can tell it's AI content? We weren't. We were not saying that 10 years ago because AI content didn't exist 10 years ago. AI content didn't exist 10 years ago. And now here we are, like what? A year or two into AI content, we're like, yeah, but like you could tell it's like has like the uncanny valley. You can tell. It's like, dude, you're not going to be able to tell soon. How much time is left? I was on Facebook. It's already happened on Facebook. There's a lot of older demographic on Facebook. The older demographic have more of an issue discerning between real content and AI content. And AI content is huge on Facebook. It's huge. So how much longer do we have until it's indistinguishable? What do we have, a year? A year left, maybe? Kim Jong-un said, I watched Ex Machina in December. We're so cooked. That was a great movie. I watched that, I think, in theaters when it first came out. What was it, 2016 maybe? I was in LA, I believe. I saw that in LA and I was like, wow, this is what our future is. Christy said the videos of the dogs and cats saving newborn babies from wild animals. There's pages on Facebook that it's like a talking baby. It's like literally a talking baby, and the comments are like, oh my gosh. Your baby is so advanced. Like what? How did your baby become able to speak at the raw age of 8 months old? Like full fluent sentences. It's incredible. It's like, dude, it's not real because it's not real. How long until everything on the internet isn't real? There was a report out, I think it might have been in 2025, so it might have been from last year, where 51% of all traffic on the internet is bots. It's bots. The majority of the traffic on the internet is from bot activity. Humans no longer have control of the internet. The internet is owned by AI and bots. Kim Jong-un said people are already getting manipulated by less advanced AI, some even marrying it. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see people who are, a little compromised mentally going down that route. It's sad. It's sad to see, I don't think we're too far off from AI taking over 75% of jobs. I think we're probably a year, maybe 2. 2 years away, maybe. Christy said there was one woman who had a whole wedding to her AI partner. Oh, God, that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. That's the future, though. That's the future, is having an AI partner, an AI robot partner, and you have a test tube baby. It's going to be sad. It'll be sad. Stefan said that song, by the way, was originally called Buffalo Gals by Malcolm McLaren. It's not very good, though. Oh, I'm starting to get like a memory. You like hatched into a memory where I saw that video. Is it in like, it's like real old timey, right? I remember seeing it. Maybe, and I might have even thought like, oh, this is probably AI. 1983, apparently, said Stefan. Yes, I believe I saw that, and I just assumed it was like AI, like recreating a Eminem song, but like in olden times. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool AI stuff. Man. AI is making me think real things are fake now. And that's probably happening a lot. It was a Japanese woman, said Grim Jong-un. That is crazy. New Tinder feature, AI profiles. They always swipe right. Yeah, just so you can feel better about yourself or something. Yep, 19. Oh, that's insane, dude. So yeah, I mean, the AI is coming. I'm trying to think, like, I have a few friends who are very, not anti-AI, but very like, oh, humans will always congregate with humans, and AI will never be human-like. AI will never feel what it's like to be a human. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Maybe in the future, the AI robots are more human than humans. That's a possibility. Michael Hartson said, what do you think about AI creating an era of universal income? I don't see it personally. The billionaires don't do handouts as it is. Yeah, I mean, well, it's kind of like if you're going to replace the majority of humans with the AI robots, there needs to be a solution, because the AI robot's going to cost money. So it's not like everyone's just going to have AI robots in their house. People who have money will be able to afford that. The universal income, I think there's probably something that can be done. I think there's probably something to be done where, they talk about a tax. They talk about a tax for the AI robot. If you employ an AI robot instead of a human, you're going to have to pay a tax for that robot. And it will still be cheaper to employ that robot and pay the tax versus employing a human. And they say that one of their things is that tax is going to go back to the people that were replaced by the AI. And people will just be sitting at home, losing all sense of purpose as they get money from the government. I don't know. It's tough to see as well, Michael. I think it's tough. But what's the alternative, right? Like, what is the alternative to AI robots coming in, taking our jobs? How will people live? How will people afford to live? What is the alternative to the taxing program and then rehanding it back out? And I don't even know if that's a good solution, but I can't even think of, because it's going to happen. It's happening already. It's already happening. There's already people losing their jobs to AI. And we're going to have to come up with some sort of solution. I think the simplest would probably be to tax the people using the robots. That'd probably, that'd probably be the simplest option. Now, do you trust the government to take those tax dollars and redistribute them to the people who are wronged by AI? That's a great question. Could go either way. But like I said, I don't see much of an alternative. GBS said no. Yeah, it's you're putting a lot of trust in the government. It's going to be a weird future. I'll just say that. I don't know which way it's going to go. I don't think anyone really does. Even the people who are in control are kind of like, well, we'll see what happens. And all this, let's tie it all into a neat little bow here, and we'll wrap it up. Is AI the reason for Trump going after Venezuela? Right? Could potentially be a good question. There's a race for AI right now. There's a race going on. And whoever builds the greatest AI in the world will have power and they'll have rule over the rest of the world. The people who have the best AI will have power and rule. How do you make the greatest AI? You need energy. Michael hit the nail on the head there in regards to securing more energy resources. You need energy for AI. Do we have enough energy resources here in America? If you could capture Venezuela and their resources and energy, could that then further the race for AI superintelligence? Man, it makes you think a little bit, you know? Stefan said, whoever builds an AI superintelligence will be responsible for the extinction of the human race. Stefan said, every current AI has warned us not to create one. Yeah, I mean, who knows? It's either going to be the extinction of the human race or it will be the prosperity, the most prosperous era humans have ever lived in. It'll be one or the other. And it's going to happen anyways. Like, there's no breaks on this. This is like the going to the moon, right? Mackenzie's snoring over there. It's like, who's going to get to the moon first? Are we both just going to not try to go to the moon? Let's enjoy the ride, said Michael. Exactly. That's what we're doing here today, just enjoying the ride. Every current AI has warned us they absolutely guarantee that an AI superintelligence would have no use for the human race. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think that creating an AI superintelligence automatically equals the end of the human race. And we're going to find out because we're creating an AI superintelligence. So what you're saying is that we're all going to die, is what you're saying. I don't believe that to be true. I don't want to believe that. My phone died. Yeah, sucks. But that's just, he's refueling. He's also AI. That's funny. Live and learn. Yep, Michael. I thought I had 50% battery in my phone, and now there's 0. So I do apologize. I thought we had a real good live today. Today's Wednesday, January 7th. We're going to have to wrap this one up. It's been a fun talk about Greenland and Venezuela and AI. But yeah, I can't. I'm like holding my laptop right now with my hands. So Christy said W stream. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for being here. Christy, Stefan said Grok took over. Just trying to shut the stream down. Michael Hartson, Stefan, Christy, Grim Jong-un, GBS, Ravioli. Thank you to everyone for being here today. And I'm most likely going to be here Friday. Most likely. I'll let you guys know. I'll always do a post on Twitch, on my story, if I cannot do the stream that day. So, thank you again. Peace out. Have an amazing Wednesday. I'll see you guys most likely on Friday. Peace out.